Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, welcome to Leisure Game, and I am Leisure, and today we're taking a look at another variant of a K9 deck. Now this K9 deck is going to be paired with something that most people don't play, and I first saw this on Tide MD's channel, Tide MasterDuel, so I will put the link to that video in the description below, and it is being paired with penguins. Yes, that's right, you heard me correctly. K9 is being paired with penguins, and it works extremely well because a lot of the penguins that we're going to need are going to be 5 stars, which K9s work off of. So now not only do you get your Exceed summons, you can also get your Synchro summons and even some links to get into higher cards and have an interesting field where you can negate, where you can return cards to the hand or banish them depending on which penguins you have out on the field. And we'll definitely go through those. So we'll first go through K9s because I've already covered K9s in the previous video. So you can go ahead and take a look at that. And the K9 package is pretty much the same that we have always seen. So we're going to want the 3 Izunas, the 2 Yugioh. We're going to want 2 Lantern or 1. You can actually probably work with 1. I like having 2 just as a backup. And we're going to go with 2 Nori or Norai. Normally you'd run 3, but we need a little bit more room here for the penguins. So we're just going to have the 2. And then obviously we have the 1 Lupus. For the spells for K9, I like running the Release Restraint. And I also like running the X-Force. You only actually need 1, but I just like having them as a backup. And then 1 case for K9. The reason you only want 1 case for K9 here is even though this is a K9 penguin deck, it kind of leans a little bit more towards the penguin side. But if you wanted to, when we get into the penguins, I'll show you what cards you can actually drop to probably add a second case for K9 if you wanted to have that. For the K9 extra deck, it's pretty much going to be something that we've always seen. For the extra deck revolving around K9s, we're going to have 2 of the Rippers, just so you can have those negates and you can have some follow-ups with your turns. And we're obviously going to have the 1 X Werewolf. We can't have a K9 deck without our boss monster, right? Next, we're going into the Penguin package, and I know a lot of people probably don't play Penguins or have ever played Penguins, and if you'd like to know how they play, I do have a video of penguins on the channel, so go ahead and take a look at that. I'll try to explain why we picked certain penguins for this deck. And the first penguin we're going to pick is Penguin Soldier. Now this card says when you flip this card, you can target up to 2 monsters on the field and return those targets to the hand. So you can either target your opponent's monsters or yours. But the reason we have this is because we're going to pair it with another penguin. We pair this with No Penguin. Now when a penguin's monster effect is activated, you will special summon this card from your graveyard. But the main reason we want this is if a card would be returned from the field to the hand by the effect of a penguin card, you could banish it instead. So this is a pretty good way to break your opponent's board. The next penguin we pick here is Glacial Beast Polar Penguin. It is a tuner. If this card on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, you could target 1 card your opponent controls and return it to the hand. Once again, if this is on the field with No Penguin, it's a great way to clear your opponent's field. Next, we definitely want the Great Emperor Penguin. Now, this is a 5-star card, which works very well with Yugioh, because then you can special summon this card from your hand. And when you tribute this card, you can special summon up to 2 penguin monsters from your deck, except the Great Emperor Penguin. Now, your targets, we've already covered them. The targets you're going to want to look for are your Glacial Beast Polar Penguin, because that is your 3-star. And then you want your Note Penguin, which is your other 3-star. And the reason you target these 2 is because then you can use the tuner effect and go right into Penguin Brave. Now when Penguin Brave hits the field, your opponent cannot target face down defense position monsters you control with card effects, which helps protect your Penguin Soldier. You can use each of the following effects. If this card is Synchro Summon, you can special summon 1 Penguin monster from your deck in face down defense position. You're always going to target your Penguin Soldier. That's the one that's going to come to the field. When your opponent activates a monster effect, you can flip 1 face down defense position water monster you control face up. Now there's a lot that happens during this time, right? Now if you use the Great Emperor Penguin, like I said, you're going to special summon No Penguin and your Glacial Beast Penguin. You're going to sync off into this, the Penguin Brave. Penguin Brave's effect activates when it comes to the field, which then is a quick effect for No Penguin that's in your graveyard. So now No Penguin hits the field and your Penguin Soldier comes to the field as well and face down defense. Now, if you do have that still face down on defense, this is where we're going to want 3 of the Penguin Squires. And I forgot to add these guys. Now, Penguin Squire says, if a monster is set on your field, you can special summon this card from your hand, then you can reduce its level by 1 or 2. And once again, it is another tuner, so this is going to help you sync into your Penguin Brave. You can target 1 face down defense position monster you control and change it face up in defense. And if you do, its effects are negated unless it is a penguin monster. So if you by chance happen to open with this in your hand, along with Penguin Soldier, your play will be to set your Penguin Soldier and then special summon your Squire. Flip your Penguin Soldier and send those cards back to your opponent's hand. That would be the play. Now, if you have no Penguin on the field at the same time, that works out even better because then now you're just going to banish those cards instead of sending them back to the hand. For Penguin spells, we're going to want 3 Royal Penguin Gardens because this is going to be your way to search. When this card is activated, you can add 1 Penguin card from your deck to your hand, except the Royal Penguin's Garden. Once per turn, during your main phase, you can decrease the level of 1 Penguin monster in your hand or face-up field by 1, then discard 1 card. Your primary target for this card is going to be the Great Emperor Penguin. Unless you already have Great Emperor Penguin, then you can try and target one of the others. But it's primarily going to be a Great Emperor Penguin because then you can bring it to the field by lowering its value by 1 and then still activate its effect to tribute and then special summon 2 other penguins to the field. General Ryle of the Ice Barrier is also going to be part of your penguin package here. Granted, it is not a penguin, but when your opponent's monster effect activated on the field resolves, they must discard 1 card or the effect is negated, and that is their choice. Now, yes, this card is a 6-star. It's pretty much going to be there on defense for the effect to kind of trying to slow your opponents down by using their effects so you can actually burn their hand if needed to, or just negate their effect. And the way you're going to special summon this card is through the effect of Lancia. Right, once per chain, if your opponent special summons monsters, you can special summon 1 Ice Barrier monster from your hand, deck, extra deck, or graveyard. Then you can change 1 attack position monster your opponent controls to defense. So you're going to use this effect to get into your general. The general is not going to be your only target for this. You can actually also target Trishula. Now, when this card is synchro summoned, you can banish up to 1 card each from your opponent's hand, field, and graveyard. The card in the hand is chosen at random. Unfortunately, I do think that when it is summoned with Lancia, it does miss its timing, and you guys can correct me on that. But it is there as a nice 2700 beat stick if you need it. So once you fill out the rest of your deck, this is what it's going to look like here. I went with 2 Effect Veilers. If you don't want 2 Effect Veilers, you can actually use Droll and Lockbird. I think that will still work pretty well here. Next, we have the 1 Maxi, and I don't see Maxi going anywhere unless they just completely ban it. We have our 3 Ash Blossoms. Then we have the 1 Perulia and 1 Fualos. Now you can adjust those however you see fit. We have the 1 Nibiru because I feel like this is the format where people just continually summon like crazy, and Nibiru is a great way to clear off your opponent's field. Just be careful on what you're clearing because you could end up putting yourself behind the 8-ball by giving them a token that is ridiculously high in power and defense. So make sure that you have a way to get rid of that token. Don't just slap Nibiru on the field hoping to clear your opponent's field. We have 1 Triple Tactics Talent, and you can, like I said, you can probably put this up to 2 if you want to get rid of one of the Royal Penguin Gardens. Then we have 3 Infinite Impermanence and the 1 Call by the Grave. So this is pretty much the standard stuff that you're going to fill into the deck once you have all your key components of your penguins and your canines. The same thing is done with the extra deck, right? You already have your penguins, you have the main cards you're going to use for your penguins, and then you have your core package for your canines. Now, the reason why this... Now, I've covered it a little bit earlier before, but I'll say it one more time. The reason why this seems to work... I know I've said this earlier, but I will say it one more time. The reason why this deck works really well is because of the 5-star penguins that you have. The 5-star penguins that you have pair really well with Jokel's ability here, where you can special summon this. You can reveal this card and 1 other level 5 monster in your hand and special summon both. So if you have Jokel and you have the Great Emperor Penguin, that is a great opener because then you can special summon Jokel and then you can special summon the Great Emperor Penguin. You can tribute the Great Emperor Penguin, and then you can get your Note Penguin and your Glacial Penguin, and then you can tune into a Penguin Knight, or excuse me, a Penguin Brave, and then you can use Penguin Brave's effect to then special summon Penguin Soldier, and then Note Penguin's ability in the graveyard will activate, and then you get to special summon Note Penguin to the field. So that is an amazing opener that you have there, and then you can just continue from there, right? You continue your normal K9 combinations where you get into Ripper, and then Ripper will send Lupus to the grave. You can get your Case of K9 to the field. Then you'll be able to get either your Release Restraint or your X-Force Release, and everything kind of just flows like that with K9. This is a fun deck, and because it is fun, a lot of people probably won't use it. It's not meta. It is definitely... This is a fun deck to play. It is not a meta deck. I don't think it will ever become meta, but it is, like I said, very fun. And because it's not meta and it's more fun, most people probably won't play this. But I do highly think that you guys should give it a try. Let me know in the comments down below if you have. And like I said, I have a penguin video. If you want to take a look at a penguin video or a pure penguin deck to see how that plays, go ahead and leave a like. So that's it for the deck. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know this is probably not going to be a meta deck. So that's it for the Penguin K9 deck. I hope you guys enjoyed. If there was something that I missed out, go ahead and leave a comment in the So that's it for the deck. I hope you guys enjoyed. So that's it for the Penguin K9 deck. I hope you guys enjoyed. If I left something out, go ahead and ask me in the comments down below or leave your ideas in the comments down below. I'd love to see them. If you found this helpful, by all means, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe. If you guys can help me out, I'm also trying to get to 500 subs. So I will see you guys in the next one. Later.